All right, so I've decided that for my project with the coil, I am going to build a handle for my cup. So I'm going to break the coil. This looks like a really big handle. I don't think I want a handle that big. Maybe half. No, that still seems too big. So we're gonna do 1/3 of the coil. How do we measure 1/3? It doesn't have to be perfect. So that's what half looks like. That's close. Break it off about there. So you see how I measured with my fingers? That's kind of a general rule. When you're hand building, you can use a ruler. But because I work quickly and my hands tend to get really messy, I don't like using a ruler because when my hands are messy with clay, I touch the ruler and I can't read the ruler anymore. So I've learned to use different measurements with my fingers, different finger lengths, because it doesn't have to be a certain length most of the time. It just has to match what you're building. All right, so now we're going to shape our clay handle. So I typically do this with a cup sitting down like this, but I want you guys to be able to see. So shape it into a C shape, roughly. Hold it up to the side. So the handle's gonna be about like that. But that's kind of a clunky, chunky handle. I wouldn't really want to hold the cup and drink out of it like that. So we're gonna stylize the handle and make it pretty and more functional. Think about when you drink hot cocoa. Is there a cup that you really like to use? This is one of my favorite cocoa cups, and I love this handle. It's nice and wide at the top, and it tapers down. It looks nice, and it has a good balance and hand feel. So we're going to try to make this handle. Let's look at it from all sides. It's flat. It's thick. And here it's thin. So we're probably going to want to flatten our coil. There's a couple ways to flatten the coil. We have looks like a 7 shape, trying to match what that cup looked like, that cup's handle. I found a colored pencil. I chose this one because it's perfectly smooth all the way around. Start at the seam, the corner, roll down. Whoop, not too thin. It's okay if it doesn't look perfect. We're going to keep shaping it. Just getting the desired thickness right now. Push along here, not too hard. Hey, it's looking like a handle. Now let's measure it. Hold it up to our cup. That looks so much better. I think it might still be a little too long up here, but I think we have this length just about right. How do we trim when we realize we have too much clay? You can use a trimmer tool, simple clay cutting tool like this. A lot of Play-Doh sets will come with something similar. Or you can use a butter knife. Just make sure it's okay with your caregiver. All right, so we're going to trim just the tip off, going straight down across, reshaping it. Now let's measure again. That looks right. And we got to attach these two pieces together somehow. What are we gonna do? So because this is salt dough, you can add water to make your pieces more sticky. So I'm gonna add water to this part, and this is where we're attaching it to the cup. So I'm gonna get this bottom part wet and attach this bottom part to the cup. Before I do that though, I want a flat edge on the bottom. I'm looking at that and that was a little bulbous. I'm gonna cut that off. I like that so much better. Okay, so again, we're wetting this part of the clay and this bottom 1/4 inch of the clay. Now we measure where we want it on the cup, here and here, and push it together. I'm going to do it on the table. Try to hold it up so you can see. And then we have our handle very lightly attached. That's just the first step. Sticking it together. And we want it to look like it's all one piece, yeah? So we're going to get something to smooth it. We're going to push all of these edges so they're all smoothed out together. I really like this tool. It has a little paddle shape here, and it has a little pointy shape here. So this is really nice for flattening out large areas, and this is really nice for getting into small areas. So we'll start at the bottom, and you just grab that top layer of clay and you're going to pull it down and smooth it, just like that. Almost like you're taking a bite out of it. But you don't want to break it. See, just stretching and smoothing and then pulling it against the body of the cup. This is a lot easier when the cup is hard. So just try to maintain the shape of your cup while you're doing this. It's a lot easier to do it if it's sitting on the table, like this. And it's okay if there's gouge marks because you're going to smooth those out when you're done attaching the handle. So I'm going to switch. I was doing the thick part. Switch to something thinner so you can get inside. And smooth that edge of that handle. And smooth down in here, kind of hold it so you don't accidentally push your handle off again. And you're smoothing out the inside. And whoop. Fix the cup. And there we have an attached handle. So that's one thing you can do with the coil, is make a handle for your cup. What's another thing we could do with our coil?